Hello, readers. This video is about choice. So we're really supporting and giving you some tips on how to make sure you're providing choice, but also giving you some tips as a parent to support that choice with your kiddos. And so this is Brooklyn, and she is ninth grade going into 10th grade, right? And so I'm just going to model a conversation I would have. And these same questions you could do with any age reader to help them find what books that they are interested in. And remember, the reason why we focus on choice is because choice breeds engagement. If kids are not engaged in their reading, typically the number one thing I go to is what are they reading, and do they like what they're reading? And a lot of times, and I've had lots of conversations with Brooklyn about the types of books that she's been assigned to read, and that's not driving her engagement. So here is the how. And so there are three areas that I always ask questions about in order to figure out what kids are interested in to then help them match them with books. And the first one is genre. And genre is, when we think about the two big genres of fiction and nonfiction, so fake stories, real stories. And then there's, different subgenres in there. So it could be memoir, biographies, murder mysteries, historical fiction. Nonfiction could fall into graphic novels or actually memoir and biography and nonfiction as well. So those subgenres, think about your favorite TV shows. Those are all, genres, true crime, that kind of stuff. So we ask about genre. We ask about other books that they have liked. So thinking about their history as a reader, what other books have they read that they liked? And then things that they like or dislike in books that they've read. And that information will then help us match them to books that will be interesting to them. All right, so Brooklyn, talk to me about what types of books do you typically like? What genre of books do you like? Fiction, nonfiction?
I don't read that much, so I can't really decide what I like more because I don't read enough to, I think, decide that. I feel like probably fiction.
Okay.
Mostly.
So thinking about like TV shows or movies that you watch, are there any genres that you like?
I like comedies mostly, and like true stories I think are cool as well. But yeah, I like most things except like soapy, like gross romantic movies.
Same. I hate romance. What are some other books that you've read that you've liked? And you can go as far back as you need to.
So the recent book that I read, The Infected, that I was telling you about, I liked that one. And then I liked To Kill a Mockingbird and The Outsiders. And there was this one book that I read a long time ago. It was called Sort of Like a Rock Star, and it was like a nonfiction thing about a girl like living with her mom like in a bus, and it was good. It had like a twist ending, and yeah.
And you liked it because it was a true story, or just because of the kind of like struggle that she overcame?
I think it was more of that. Like it was interesting because like there were lots of like problems and things that she was trying to do to like fix them, and it was interesting, and it was engaging like the whole time, which is mainly what I look for, because if I get bored I tend to stop reading.
Yeah, and you should. All right. Any other likes or dislikes and things that you read? Like, so you're saying it needs action to keep you, or what? So what keeps you engaged in a book?
I'd say just like things that like interest me, like weird things like give you good like images in your head, like when there's things that are like gross, and like you know that it's really gross, you like want to stop reading because it's gross, but you can't because you're like so focused on it. Like things like that interest me. And then like I love any like suspense, like obviously everyone loves some good suspense. And I will say that I don't like if it gets like too confusing. Like I've read some like Shakespeare and like Aristotle or whatever. Like I read A Tale of Two Cities, and that was difficult. And I also read what's the one that we read. It's a play. I can't remember what it was, but it was just very confusing, and I couldn't. Oh, Othello. That was
Mm.
it, and it was okay. There were some good parts, but most of it was just very confusing. And I think it's because it was like old and like they talked a lot differently. But
Mhm.
if it makes you think too much, then I don't want to read it.
Do you like graphic novels, or have you ever read a graphic novel?
Yeah, I like graphic novels. I had a pretty big graphic novel phase actually in like elementary school.
Mhm.
Like those like one books like The Smile,
Yeah.
like that. I think Riley has some of them.
Yeah,
and
she's
like
good.
the Dork Diaries and stuff. I liked books like that.
Okay. All right. So my next step as a parent and as a teacher is to kind of find books that she would be interested in. And I have a couple resources that I'm going to share with you. Number one is Brightly, Brightly, and there's lots of lists, and it's like preschool through high school, and there's for every type of reader. So she said she likes action, suspense. When she said she liked To Kill a Mockingbird and The Outsiders, those have a lot to do with kind of like teenager coming of age type stories. And so you could just search for coming of age stories for high schoolers, and there's tons out there. I always ask about graphic novels because for reluctant readers, a lot of times graphic novels are a great step into reading. But also, graphic novels are really complex, especially when you're getting up into the middle and high school. There are graphic memoirs, there's graphic dystopian novels, and they are phenomenal. Like, there's another, when you're looking at the images, there's another layer of meaning that kids have to interpret. And those are really complex and high level. And so I don't think that we should dismiss them. We just need to add those to our reading stories. So I would look for coming of age. I would look for, there's lots of comedies and, funny type stories out there. Action and suspense. I always lean into, there's lots of, suspenseful, type stories. So there's she likes some sci-fi. So I might lean into that a little bit, and look for some lists of suggestions for her. So Brightly is one of those resources. And then the South Carolina Library Association, they provide lists every year. I'm on one of the committees. I'm on the Young Adult Book Award Committee, which would be perfect for Brooklyn. There's the Junior Book Award that are perfect for middle school. And then there's the Picture Book Award and the Children's Book Award, which are more elementary, depending on the age of your child. But they provide a list of 20 books every year vetted by teachers, students, librarians, that are phenomenal. And so they're a great starting place. So thinking about her list, I will now go to that website and pick some that I think that she might enjoy. And we will see if we can get her to try out one of these books. So your due now is to have that conversation around choice. What are kids interested? What are your kids interested in? And then check out those two resources. There's lots of other places online if you know either a genre or type of book that you are looking for. There's lots of lists out there, but those are two great resources. So check them out and let me know if you need any support matching your kiddos with books.